Hello and good evening. I'm joined by my senior colleague Boria Majumdar, and right now we are standing just outside the boxing arena where recently, in fact not too long ago, we've just witnessed one of the legends of Indian boxing, Mary Kom, play her last Olympic bout. Well, that happened just a little while ago. Otherwise, it was all well. Everything was going India's way. But what is going to startle you all is what she said. What she spoke after the bout. In fact, it took more than 2 hours that she didn't know that she has actually lost the bout. It was only recently, in fact, just a few minutes ago that she got to know, and her emotions spoke that all.
When you and I actually said to her, when she was coming out, so we said, so Mary, aap haar gaye. Rahul and I were together, so we said to her, that's when the penny dropped.
Right.
Even when in the mixed zone, she had apparently thought she had won.
Exactly. And imagine, during all this while, she was there inside the ring. The referee raised the hand of her opponent. She thought that she had won. She came out, she addressed the press. She thought that she had won. And she gave that dope sample also. She thought, exactly, thinking that she had won. But eventually, when her coach broke that news to her, she was all in tears. Just listen into this exclusive interview that my senior colleague Boria Majumdar has done just a little while ago with Mary Kom.
छोड़ तो नहीं दोगे मैच? आप खेलोगे ना बॉक्सिंग? छोड़ना नहीं है।
तो मतलब मेरे 40 साल तक खेलूंगी और of course it's very this match was very unfortunate. Decision was
so will we protest? आप protest करोगे?
Already they clearly said, since the beginning they could not single protest. They will not accept anything. ये सारे clear कर दिया था क्योंकि ये ओलंपिक में हो सकता है तो फिर ये जापानीज को प्रोटेस्ट करेगा तो वो चांसेस ही नहीं है।
ठीक है मैरी, all I will say is wish you the best. आप हमारे लिए always champion रहेंगे, please.
I thought I will back with the medal. I don't know what's wrong. I can't still believe myself. I know I am losing the match.
Okay.
Even I don't know. The whole country knows. Whole countries maybe this
okay.
Who is winning.
So there it is from Mary. You've seen what she's saying.
Magnificent, Mary. It was perhaps end of an era. We don't know if we are going to see her at the Asian Games or Commonwealth Games, but surely as the age restrictions as far as IBA is concerned, the International Boxing Federation caps 40 as the age limit to compete at the Olympics. But here's how Mary bowed out from this Olympics.
These women as they prepare voting for her.
Is it the end of an era?
Mary Kom.
We'll probably not see the magnificent Mary again at the Olympics. A role model and inspiration, Mary Kom is a phenomenon. The 38-year-old bowed out of Tokyo 2020 after narrowly losing her second round match based on a split decision by the judges. Colombia's Ingrid Valencia emerged as the winner in a very close contest. Despite looking out of place in the first round, Mary showed why she has been at the top of her sport for so long. Her comeback in the second round was magnificent, just like her nickname. Yet, it was her reactions post the loss that won everyone's hearts. Mary has long been the most successful boxer of her era. She's the only female to win the World Amateur Boxing Championship 6 times, the only female boxer to have won a medal in each of the first 7 World Championships, and the only boxer, male or female, to win 8 World Championship medals. Asian Games champion, Commonwealth Games champion, Olympic medalist. The list just goes on. Despite the heartbreak of her loss, Mary Kom remains India's treasure. After all, you would have to be extremely good at your sport for a film to be made on your life, let alone while you are still an active player. Even if Mary Kom doesn't step into the ring for India again, her legend will live on. Sports Bureau, India Today.
Boria, a legend like Mary Kom, well, results can go whichever way. Today it didn't go Mary's way, but she was completely distraught when we saw her here. She was not happy with a lot of things. Of course, refereeing was one, but organizationally also she was not too happy.
She was very distraught. She started crying. She broke down.
Yeah.
First, she did not believe that she'd lost. Again, we make that point. Watch that interview.
Okay, I think you've missed some of the portions of that interview, Boria. Exactly, if you can just tell our viewers what to watch out for in that interview. What exactly is so earth-shattering in that interview?
What is earth-shattering? 3 things. Watch it in Hindi on Aaj Tak and Sports Tak. Watch it on India Today in English. Point number 1. Mary did not believe she had lost even when she was doing the press meet after the bout. She thought the referee had raised her hand. She said the way she fought in round 2 and round 3, there is absolutely no way she can lose. Number 2, she felt the judgment was biased because after that fight, there was just no way that she could have lost. When the penny dropped, when we met her and we were walking around, her coach broke the news to her. That's when she realized that she had actually lost and crashed out of the Olympics. Number 3, she said the organizers were rude. She said nobody cooperated. She said this has been the most bizarre Olympics in every sense. 2 minutes before her bout, she was asked to change her shirt.
Imagine.
They came and gave her a shirt, and please watch, she is wearing a shirt with no name because they said you cannot wear a shirt with Mary Kom written. Her last bout, she was wearing Mary Kom shirt. Yeah. The Colombian girl was wearing her shirt with the name written. So why was Mary asked to change her shirt 2 minutes before her bout? All these questions are being raised, and yet again, the Tokyo Organizing Committee and AIBA will have to answer each of these questions.
Well, absolutely. She was denied. She in fact was told that she cannot use her surname. And just at the last moment, in fact, you asked the question at the presser also that what happened. She said, if I would have thought about that, it could have actually affected my game. And without realizing that she had lost that bout, imagine. And it took her so many hours, in fact, more than 2 hours to realize. Anyways, this is Mary Kom's story. It will continue. Perhaps at the Olympics, it's all over because AIBA does not allow athletes over 40 to compete at the Olympics.
The other point, Rahul, I asked her in that interview that why don't you protest? She said this is the only Olympics where they are not allowing protests. The Japanese are not allowing protests. That was the other point that she and her coach made. So maybe, Dr. Batra, if you are listening to this, maybe Ajay Singh, if you are listening to this, take this point up. That if your champion feels that there has to be a protest, remember London, remember what happened with Vikas Krishan. 5 hours after Vikas had won, the bout was given to the American because the American lobby had protested. So why can't the Indians protest in 2021 if they feel that something unethical and unfair has been done?
Well, that's right, Mary Kom. And moving on, we go to PV Sindhu, who started the proceedings as far as India is concerned in a bright fashion. PV Sindhu has stormed into the quarterfinals of the women's singles. In her pre-quarterfinal, she defeated the 6th seed Sindhu, defeated Mia Blichfeld. Denmark's Blichfeld was no match for Sindhu as the 2016 Olympic silver medalist won 21-15, 21-13 in a match that lasted 41 minutes. Sindhu is yet to drop a game at the Olympics this year, and she'll now face 4th seed Japan's Yamaguchi. That match will take place tomorrow afternoon, and we'll get you all the action. But Yamaguchi against PV Sindhu, that should be an interesting contest.
It's a classic. This is one of those rivalries in world badminton that people wait for. In All England, it was a 1 hour plus match. Sindhu prevailed 21-19. Head-to-head is 11-7. Yamaguchi beat her 3 straight matches, but thereafter Sindhu has got her mojo back. This will be a classic. No crowd support for the Japanese. That should help Sindhu.
Well, that's right. But star of the day, Boria, star of the day, archer Atanu Das, who just, in the round of 32, he knocked out in fact 2012 London gold medalist Oh Jin Haik in a shoot-off. Atanu, who had lost the first set, drew the next two before taking the fourth to level the match. And in the fifth, Atanu matched the Korean arrow for arrow. With 28 points each, the game headed into a shoot-off. The Korean, who has already won the team gold, shot another 9, but Atanu, going second in the shoot-off, sealed his place in the round of 16 with a perfect 10. Well, moving on, Indian boxer Satish Kumar too has reached the quarterfinals of the men's super heavyweight. Satish defeated Jamaica's Ricardo Brown 4-1 in a split decision. Satish is now just a victory away from ensuring that he leaves Tokyo with at least a bronze medal. Dominant in the first two rounds, Satish had to endure an injury above his right eye during the third. But the pugilist managed to keep the Jamaican at bay to emerge victorious. Also, there's good news from for the men's hockey team. They've made it to the quarterfinals after winning 3-1 against reigning Olympic champion Argentina. To start with, the Indian team attacked the Argentine defenders but could not finish and could not get the goal. In the second half, things changed, and the Indian strikers, the Indian forward line, managed to get 3 goals, one after the other. Argentina pulled one back, but still they were no match for this Indian team, who's now made it to the quarterfinals with a game to spare in their pool standings. Boria, lots of hopes from hockey, because it's been over 40 years that we have not made it to the semi-final. Here, of course, we are in quarterfinal, but still they can't put their guard down.
You'll get a good draw. You'll get a good draw if you beat Japan. Because if you beat Japan, you'll get a good draw. That should help. Because what happened in Rio, in that last pool match, you drew 2-2 against Canada and you got Belgium. And as a result, you lost out. But now you are expected to get a relatively decent draw. So there is every reason to believe that this team will make the semi-finals.
All right, tomorrow also it's going to be an important day, and a lot of Indians will be in action. India could be assured of at least a bronze if boxer Lavina Borgohain wins her quarterfinal bout. She faces stiff challenge from Chinese Taipei's Chen Nain-Chin. The fight is expected to start at 8:40 AM India time. Simranjeet Kaur, the boxer from Punjab, too starts tomorrow. Her first fight is against Thailand's Sisondi in the women's lightweight round of 16. Deepika Kumari, the Indian ace archer who had a one-day break, continues her individual event campaign tomorrow. In the pre-quarters, she will face Russian Olympic Committee's Ksenia Perova at 6 AM tomorrow. This is the Indian Standard Time. India's #1 shuttler PV Sindhu will be back in action tomorrow and meets #4 seed Yamaguchi in the quarterfinals of the women's singles. Manu Bhakar, who is currently 5th in the qualifying after the precision round of the 25-meter pistol, resumes tomorrow in the rapid round. That is also going to happen at 5:30 AM early in the morning. Rahi Sarnobat too will be part of the rapid round, but she is currently 25th in the qualifying. Well, the athletics also begins tomorrow, and 2 Indians who will be featuring in that event would be in steeplechase. This would be India's Avinash Sable, and in the men's 400-meter hurdles will be MP Jabir. Campaign tomorrow in equestrian 2. Fawad Mirza will be in action, and he'll be involved in the individual eventing competition tomorrow that starts at 5 AM. The Indian men's hockey team that has already qualified for the quarterfinals play their final pool game against Japan at 3 PM. Up next, COVID renders Indian players helpless at the T20 International in Sri Lanka. Special report on the other side.
Good batter.
When was the last time you saw Bhuvneshwar Kumar coming in at 4 down in a T20 international? Probably never. After all, Bhuvi just has 23 runs to his name in 10 T20 international innings. India spent the lead up to the rescheduled second T20 international amidst a lot of uncertainty. When Krunal Pandya tested positive for COVID, all his close contacts were asked to isolate. This meant a total of 8 other Indian players were unavailable for the remaining 2 T20 internationals. This includes Hardik Pandya, Prithvi Shaw, Suryakumar Yadav, Yuzvendra Chahal and Ishan Kishan among others. And when the call was made that the match would go ahead, India had exactly 11 fit and available players to pick from. India handed debuts to Devdutt Padikkal, Ruturaj Gaikwad, Nitish Rana and Chetan Sakaria. The visitors also added 5 of their net bowlers to the squad to keep their options open. But they went with just 5 recognized batsmen in all. In this forced batting imbalance, Sri Lanka found their first leap towards series parity. The hosts found it difficult at times, but managed to cross the line against the makeshift Indian 11. Shikhar Dhawan's men have no other batsmen available to them. But with the 5 net bowlers being added, they still have options available with the ball. However, Navdeep Saini, who played the second T20 international, might not be available for the series decider. Saini, who did not bowl a single over in the game, had to be taken off in the penultimate over after he injured his shoulder fielding at extra cover. Saini's unavailability might open the door for one of the 5 net bowlers to finally make their debut. If Sai Kishore does get the nod ahead of others, he would make his India debut even before he has made his IPL debut. The other 4 options available are Ishan Porel, Sandeep Warrier, Arshdeep Singh and Simarjeet Singh. Despite the struggle to pick a balanced 11, Shikhar Dhawan's men will be hoping for a much better show in the final T20 international. Whether the new personnel pass the big test on the biggest stage of them all remains to be seen. Sports Bureau, India Today.
Alright, unprecedented crisis as far as the Indian team is concerned in Sri Lanka, but here in Tokyo, we are expecting some positive good news because Deepika Kumari, PV Sindhu and Lavlina Borgohain will be in action tomorrow. Hopefully, they will assure themselves and millions back home of at least a medal each tomorrow. We'll be joining you tomorrow, same time and hopefully with better news. Thanks for watching.